Hello, everyone, and thank you guys for tuning in. I am partnering with Anye to teach over here on the 3D Trendsetter side, you guys. As you know, we are offering free classes that we come in here, we teach you guys something different every time. And once we're finished, we upload it to our respective YouTube channels, as well as if you are a paid subscriber of her YouTube, you receive the files. So I had sent the files previously earlier. So you got the SVGs that is for the backpack, and then you got the STL files that would be for the can cooler. So we're going to do the backpack first, and then we'll transition to the can cooler. So you'll see how to use your pieces and how to navigate with that. All right, so our first course of business, we're going to go into Silhouette Studio. And as you can see right here, I have the three things that I provided to each of you for you to use. And if you just put them all one on top of the other, you'll see what you got. So this right here, the tap for emergency contact, you can leave that there if you want, or you can remove it and add something here. I like to put the child's name down here in this area right here, but you could always put that down there instead and make it smaller and put something up here. For instance, we'll take a quick jump over to Google just so I can show you guys something that you could do. Let's just make it simple. So say for instance, you were going to be doing one for a little girl. And for me, when I go into Google, I always go right here to images. And then as you look, you can find, as you guys come off mute, I will be muting you and you'll see the notifications. Try to keep your mic muted so that you're not interrupting and because I'm actually doing a live recording. So as you see the girls, ooh, I like her right here. But to keep it simple, I find one. I try to look down here and see the pixels of it to make sure that it's kind of a good file to use. You don't want to get something that's very low resolution because then once you try to upload it over into Silhouette Studio, you'll see the difference. So I just right click on it. I save my image to download. I just go peek at my download, see that it's saved. It did. So now we'll go file, merge. Whenever you're on a screen, you want to do file and merge to bring it into the screen that you're actually working on. So here we go. We have her head. And I'm going to draw her down a little bit because she's extremely large. So then you take her, go over here to your panels. You want to do a trace on her. Select your area to trace. Do a trace and detach. That way you can grab the head from this white background here. So now we have the head of what we're going to be using. This we can delete. So now we have the girl head silhouette.
This from backpack is on, huh? What is it?
I'll change the color of it. You can get, fanciful. You can put it to the side, lean it back, whatever you want to do. But I get her right in there. And there she go. And then for the text, I'm going to show you guys later how to add a name in here. But if you wanted to, just for purpose of seeing, for me, I always like to use Arial Black when I'm doing these because it's a boxy font and it looks good. And two, printing this small in 3D, you won't have issues with it not printing right. And you can put it in here in the square, however large, if you want to fill up the whole box, stretch the name however tall. That's your personal preference. But this would be, oh, well, we wouldn't want Tyler to have the Barbie on it, but y'all get the purpose. We would name it a girl name, of course, if we're putting a Barbie on it.
See,
But this
y'all
is
look
just,
like Tyler.
you know, what's crazy? I use Tyler for a lot of stuff. I don't even have a child in my life named Tyler. I don't know how I came about this, but most things that you see that I do, you'll see that I use the name Tyler. Don't ask me why, I can't tell you.
It's girl Tyler's too.
It's girls named Tyler.
But Tyler is clearly the boy when I'm using it because most things is a boy thing that I'm doing. But again, I don't know how I came with Tyler. I don't know, but we'll say Tyler is the girl today to go with the Barbie thing. So yes, so this is how you would do it in here. Like I said, I do not put the name on it in here. I wait until I get to bamboo. But say for instance, you just wanted to mock it up to be able to show your client. Here you go. Boom. You got the book bag right here. And you could just show them what it would look like with your Barbie head on here or whatever you want to make it a thing. Like I said, you could remove her and keep it with the standard tap for emergency contact. If I could get it to do right. So yep, so you could go that way. So plenty of different ways that you could do it. Again, I gave you guys the front, the back, and these words. So you can remix it to your liking, however you want. Once you start getting busy with these, you'll see it's 1,000 ways that you can go with these. But I did wanted to provide you guys at least with this front and the back to get started. So now we'll transition over to Tinkercad so I can show you guys how I build them up, what my dimensions that I make them, setting our NFC tags or stickers inside of them. All right, so we're here over in Tinkercad. So you always go right here, create 3D design. As soon as I come in here, I always name mine. So say for instance, I was working on this Barbie one for a client. I always name it something that I would remember and could reference because when you save it, it saves as this name. So
So
when
when
you're
you're
going
going,
into your documents, you'll be able to easily find it without having to go search for whatever that crazy name that Tinkercad automatically assigns it. So just going up there, click this and change the name will better help you when you save it and to coming back to try to find it. So now let's go to import and import our pieces. I always start from the back and then work my way forward. And once I get it in, my first thing is I turn my quality up. I go 18 or 19. I stopped bumping mine all the way up because I did notice when I was turning it all the way up to 24 is where I was having some of my issues most times. But when I bumped it down to 18 and 19, I stopped really having issues with it. So that has been my smooth area just to stay, just to make sure I don't have any issues. I'm going to turn my back completely black. And let me go save my Barbie head because I didn't save her. And I'll tell you guys how to save your pieces. I'm sorry I didn't go over that with you guys. So say for instance, we had these and we had actually worked on this from scratch and built these pieces up. So when you have them, you click it, make sure it's highlighted and in the box. You go file, save selection, save to hard drive. I never do save to the library because I don't want my stuff stuck within Silhouette. So I always do save to hard drive. And then once you're in here, I'll just do the Barbie head because that's all we're mainly worried about. When you do save the hard drive, just name it. I am a very organized person when it comes to all of my stuff. So I have my backpack folder. You want to go SVG when you're saving it. So SVG, name it, and then click OK. Now it's in my folder that I already have all my other pieces in. So now back over here. So for my bottom piece, I go ahead and do my size, and that way as you bring in each layer, you're not trying to mess with this piece, mess with that piece.
Rob late coming.
So I do it as I bring them in. I like to do my stuff in millimeters, so I go metric. So by default, it comes in at a 10. I set my bottom piece to 2.18. So 2.18 is my good spot for my bottom layer. Now we'll put our work plane and we'll go grab our second layer, which is our front. As soon as that come in, you allow it to come and then click on it and hit the D. That way it brings up. Bring your quality up to your liking. And then this middle piece, I size it to 1.29. Highlight both your pieces and do your aligning. That way it's one on top of the other, like it's supposed to be. So now we'll go get our Barbie head, put our work plane on top of the pink, import again, choose a file, and we'll get the Barbie head. And then for the Barbie head, I'm going to make her a 1.2. And she's going to go on here. And our work plane didn't come off right. So one thing I can show you guys. So say, for instance, you wanted to put her here. And she came in just perfect. So say, for instance, you wanted to embed this into the pink. I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quickly. Sometimes I'll do it over in Silhouette, but if I don't remember, it can always be done here. So again, we made her a 1.2. So you see this arrow right here, this brings an object up or down. So you can raise it up, bring it down. So I'll take it and lower it down to a negative 1.2, which is the thickness of the object. So now it's embedded inside the pink. With it selected, hit the duplicate right here. Once you hit the duplicate, turn it into a hole. With only the hole selected, hit your shift, hold your shift key, click your left mouse. Now you have two shapes selected. Union group. Now the black Barbie head is embedded inside the top layer of that backpack. So it is now flush. So where we had it at first, it was going to be sitting up. Now it is flush inside that layer. So if you're a person that likes the flush look, that's how you can flush an object into something else. Vice is doing it over in Silhouette or just pushing it down in, make it a hole and color it. Does anyone have any questions for that piece? I didn't want to lose anyone. Someone need me to show it again.
Yeah, can I just ask you, if you wanted it, say, 0.2 millimeters above.
Hold on 1 second, Carol. Hold on. Go ahead.
If you wanted it, say, so you've got it 1.2 deep. Say if you wanted to have maybe 0.2, for sake of an argument, still sticking up, do you just then tell it when you make the hole to make it 1 millimeter?
So you want this to be a 0.2. So you want 0.2 of it sticking up?
Yep. Just
So
for
what
argument's
you'll do.
sake.
So you will take it, select there, -1. So -1 is in and 0.2 is
Yep.
out.
Yep.
So you have a little bit of 3D look to it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then you
So
just
that's
hit
for
the union
anyone
again.
else. Yep. Anyone else that possibly, like I said, if you love the 3D look and you want some in and some out, you could do it that way, or you could completely leave her sitting on top like that.
And
Again,
it
your
would
personal
still
preference.
union. So you just
Yep.
hit union.
You don't even have to.
Awesome. You don't have to
Nope.
hit union?
Nope. You don't have to union them together. Because
Oh,
once
okay.
when you get ready to export, like this will be what you're going to export. When you
Yep.
go and export that, I highlight all mine, export as an OBJ. It captures all that together.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Monique, I seen you had came off mute. You have something for me, honey?
No, I was trying to log off my phone to the computer.
Oh, okay. You good.
Do flushing only work with one color, or can it be multiple colors and you still do the flush?
It can be multiple colors, but I will tell
Okay.
you this. It gets a little tricky because how can I let me try to show you. Because you have to do each and every piece. So I'll show you this one. One of it.
No, I'm like, so if the Barbie was two colors
So
like
you would
that.
have to so you would have to separate her. You would have to have something separated. So say for instance, you had her in black and you wanted her ponytail to be pink. You would have to have something separated. So it needed to be two pieces. Like if this was her hair and this was her head, it had to be two pieces in order to achieve that.
Okay.
So having her just two colors that you and somehow sliced it and put a color here, a color there, no, it's not going to work for you. You have to make it two pieces in order to achieve it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have a question while we're here?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. I'm very new to this still.
Yes.
You said that you group all of them together and you export it as an OBJ. Can you tell me what's the difference?
You'll see that when I get to the end. Yep, I'll
Oh,
explain that.
okay. Thank you.
Anyone else with a question as far as the flushing that we achieved?
The text. So I see that you already had text already typed. If you were going to place text there typed out, and do it flush, how would you do that?
So this is the text that I gave you guys. So we'll be here. So first you have to find out what your thickness is that you have made it. So for this, we got it at a 1.2. You have this arrow that's right here. You started getting it going down. Click right here. Do your -1.2. Now it's embedded. Go up here. Hit your duplicate. Go over here. Turn it to a hole. Hold down Shift. Click the pink. Union group. You got your text flush. And you could achieve that as well if you wanted to do the child's name and put it there.
So would you have, if that wasn't already typed, would you have typed it in silhouette and did it there,
Yes, ma'am.
or you don't do
I
it in
don't
ticky
like this
tack?
text here
Okay.
at all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When it first came out, I played with it a little bit, and it didn't give me the full effect because I like doing it in silhouette because I can play around with different text styles. Over here, you're kind of limited on the different types of fonts that you have. So instead of me getting frustrated over here, I just do all my stuff in silhouette.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have a question before we move forward? And then just to get yourself out of here, You just go back. If you, for some odd reason, like, yeah, no, I don't want it like that. I want to go back to something like this. You're back the way you had it. You have a question for me, Shaniqua? So now we have our Barbie, and she's on a backpack. I always bring my work plane and just ensure that I have everything set down to the work plane. So now this is where we'll get into our NFC component of adding our hole. So for me, for adding the sticker, I do not put a hole in it. I leave it be because the sticker is very flush. If you have the stickers and you take one out and look at it on a white sheet, it's very flush. So I do not create a hole for the stickers. The NFC actual little disc tab, I do make a hole for it because it is roughly, the ones I purchased are 0.9 millimeters in thickness. So if you can imagine a 0.9, almost 1, is a little thick for trying to achieve that and put that into your filament. So for me, I make the spot and I make it a 2 mil. So we'll go over here, we'll grab us a cylinder. This is what we're making believe is our NFC tag, which will be the hole that we put in there. So for me, the tags that I use, I set mine at 25.3. And again, you guys, you have to use your calipers. When you get this stuff, you can buy 10 packs from Amazon for one said same vendor, and you can get one time that's just slightly off by a 0.4. And that will mess up everything that you're doing. So I always tell people, have your caliper, have 2. I probably got about 4 of them laying around that I only can find 1 right now. But have your caliper so that you can get your measurements. Because you would hate to print something and then you go trying to stick the NFC tag in it and it doesn't work for you. So to save yourself the time and the headache, measure it before you put it in. It's just 2 seconds. So 25.3 on both ways, and then make it a thickness of 2. And the reason I do the thickness of 2, because when the NFC tag is inside, once you put it in your filament, so once you put it, inside this backpack, and we'll just say just for demonstration purposes, when it's in here, what you have to be able to do is look and see exactly where it's at. So if we took this and looked, you can see it's sitting on the base right now, and I'm going to end up raising this up and I'll show you guys how I do mine. But when you're creating it, you want to have enough coverage from the objects that's surrounding it to put it in and be able to continue covering it. You don't just want to slap it there and then the Barbie head was going to sit on top of there. You need coverage in between. So these 2 layers is a 3.47 and the disc is a 2. So that tells us we have enough on the bottom and the top to cover the disc. You don't want it hanging out the back end or possibly showing on the back end or even on the top. So always, once you measure, you get your thickness, ensure that what you're actually putting it in is thick enough to take it as well. I'll show you that, Misha, once we get over to Bamboo Studio. Yep, I'll show that part because I have to make the pause for both of them. So now we'll go back. And of course, when you first doing it, you have colors. I always go in between the hole and the colors just so I can see what I'm working with. So now what we want to do is we want to put these 2 together. So highlight both, and we're going to bundle group them. The reason we're bundle grouping them because we want to take this and level it in between the 2 layers. So with both of those, Turn this back to the hole. Highlight everything. And we want to come right here and select this one here. So it takes it off the work plane, but it puts it in the middle of these two right here because we have these two together. So this is centered in the middle of those two. So it's not down on the work plane and it's not up at the top of the pink of the base. And you can put it in the middle. It does not matter. The customer will not know where the actual tag is inside the backpack. So now you take your disc and just move it in there wherever you like, wherever you see fit. It's hidden in there, and you can always double check it by turning that into a hole. So we see it in there, highlight everything, and union group. It turns red, then it gives you a blue. That means it has made the hole inside there. So now we have our hole. It's centered. It's not laying on the back. Where in this one, it's kind of hard to really tell because it's not that large. But if you look at that angle right there, you can see we have some landing underneath. So it's not laying directly on the back. And that is our hole for our NFC disc, not the sticker. Remember, we're not doing holes for the sticker. If you want to and you're nervous, you can use the same concept, but you do not have to because they are flush when you lay them on your filament. So now we have our backpack. We got our Barbie, but I'm gonna put this one. And I just always go in there and do my sizing. And two, when you're clicking around, if you don't know where you're at, if you look right here, it'll tell you your color. So if these two weren't together, it would show me my pink. But because they're together, it shows multiple colors. But that helps you and guide you on to what you're clicking on. I know I've seen people sometimes, they're like, oh, I didn't know I was on that one. If you just click and look over here to your color, it can tell you which layer you're actually on. And I'm just making this a little larger just to cover up the area. And again, we could just go like this to get it centered. So there we go. So now we have our backpack. Oh, one thing I did not do is my sizing. So guess what? We got to go back. Because my backpacks, matter of fact, let me see what size it is because we might be able to rock with it. We got an 83 by 70. We can rock with that. It's going to be a little fat. But for me, I do mine a 55.85. So write this down. 55.85 and 75.56. Those are my dimensions that I use for my backpacks so it doesn't look too chunky, too big, and it's perfect when it's hanging from the child's backpack. Now, that is a personal preference. Once you guys start making them, you might print the 70 by 83 and it looks good to your eye. Again, personal preference. But for me, I do a 55.85 and a 75.56. So I just wanted to give that to you guys so you'll have some general idea of what to use. I don't want to go and change it. And do remember, if you are changing your dimensions, you cannot do it once you have that hole inside. It will mess up what you're doing. So you need to size it before you put the hole in it. So no way, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys because I know it'll be a time that someone has this issue. So we're here. We had already put our hole in. Go right here, ungroup. Do it one more time to get the hole out. And there's our hole. So with just the two outers, we can go and make our changes. And there we go. Now we have our backpack, the size that I like to use. Now we highlight both and bundle group them back together. Then just stick your tag over top. Same concept, just to align it. If you're that type, the perfectionist, you have to have it. And when you see it's still leveled to the middle. And then now just grab it and slap it in. Highlight. Union group. Our hole is back inside. Any questions? All
Yep.
right, our next thing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No problem.
Yep. When you make that lettering flush, is that going to go into that hole?
Nope. Mm-mm. Because
It's still high enough it doesn't.
so when you do it, if you're gonna make it flush, do your flushing before you make the hole. The hole will eliminate the flush.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a great question for anyone that wants to do it flush. Do your flushing first and then do your hole. Any other questions before we proceed over to bamboo? All right, we're ready to rock. So I take it, highlight, and ooh, let me do this. So hold on, because I need to show you ones that are going to be doing the stickers. So I want to head a little bit. So I'll show you guys what I do. So say for instance, without the hole in it, if you want to set yourself up so that you have an option for both, what I do is I take this is saved, I back out, I go here, I duplicate, I rename it, and I'll name it with a hole. And the reason I do that, because the other one, which is the original now, will not have the hole in it. This one will have the hole. So it just helps you so that you don't have to keep going back and forth. So whenever I'm doing something, there's going to be two different ways that I do it. I always just duplicate one before I put the hole in it and just rename it. And if you're working and you see a snap grid come on, I don't like mine being on. But if you exit out and come back in each time, it'll turn on. So you can turn it off. And your snap grid is just how much the object will move by. So whatever is selected there, if it's 2 millimeters, as you're moving it over, it's moving by 2 millimeters. For me, I don't like when the snap grid is on unless I'm doing placement on something. Then I'll turn it on and make sure it's a uniform selection. But other than that, most time my snap grid is off. And all right, so we have our backpack with the hole. So highlight everything, export. So you get OBJ. OBJ is whatever you have done over here as far as coloring, placement, and everything, it will take those effect. STL, it makes it a one color and you have to do your painting. I've never done the GLTF, and it's no reason to do the SVG because you bought it in as an SVG. But if for some instance you have bought something in and you want to then take it out, like for instance, sometimes I'll bring stuff in here and I'll make some changes to it and I'll export it as a SVG, take it back over into Silhouette and do some things to it. But for the most part, you're coming from Silhouette where you have made it already a SVG, so you never have to use this one. But for me, OBJ is what I use, and that is because I have colored and set this the way I want it to be. So there we go. We click OBJ. If you're on a MacBook like I am, you go here to your downloads, and it will be a zip file. You just double click it and unzip. And on the Windows computer, you have to right click and export it. So that's the difference in the two. So this is ours with the hole. Now we need to go and get the one that we didn't put the hole. highlight, export, OBJ. Go to our downloads, double click, and it's good to go. So now when we go over to Bamboo Studio, we'll create a new, and we'll go do our coloring first. So I always go in here and I do my colors, and then I bring my object in. So the only difference here is the pink. And I don't worry too much of the shade that is there. I just try to get a general as far as the colors. So now we're ready to import. So our first one we'll do is just the regular backpack that we're going to put the sticker in. So open, do your colors, and you have your backpack. So now for those, this one is our one that we're putting a sticker in. And I always go up here and label mine because I put mine side by side on the plate. I mean, side by side within the program on 2 different plates. So this one is going to be NFC sticker. So when you go here, slice the plate. What I like to do is I go find the spot that I think is best. And what you're looking for is where it's flat. So you see right here, it's a flat surface. But then if you look, this is where, and I think it's set to gyroid, is where the gyroid starts. So this layer is where I would put my sticker. So you right click here, add your pause, slice your plate again. Your pause layer is now here. And I just run this back up just so you can see the regular print. But when you're printing, it's gonna stop right there. You go in, slap your sticker in there. For me, I use mine. When I'm putting mine in, I put them inside some tweezers, and then I set it down, and with a glove on one hand, I smooth it out. I do nothing with my bare fingers. That way you don't have any oils or anything transferring from your fingers. So just a good practice to keep oil, lint, or anything out of your print and to possibly cause your filament to mess up. So I tweezers with the sticker. My other hand, I got a glove on, smooth it out with the glove, and then it's good to go. So this is your process for the NFC sticker. Ooh, and it didn't come in colored, but I can show you guys how to color it. And I hate coloring, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So it poured it in all as one.
Don't feel bad. I do too.
Yeah, I hate the coloring. We can go ahead and forget about it for me. So we got to go back to get that one. It was an error with it. And I move pretty quick. If you guys have questions, just come off your mic and ask.
I got a question, Swan.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you see how you on a Mac, that's why. Okay.
What you asking? What was you gonna ask?
So you see how you colored it and it was pencils and bamboo?
You said it was pencils.
Yeah, you want to pick a color and it was like a different color, like color pencils had popped up.
When you was picking your
Oh,
PLA.
that was here. Here. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
how
you
you
could
get it to
change
do
it.
that?
So this is a Mac look. On Windows,
Right.
y'all have the other look. So yes, I have a Mac and I have a Windows that I use. But on
Okay.
MacBook, we get these features.
All right.
Yep. So
Okay.
this is a Mac for Bamboo Lab look.
All right. Now I just cause I got stickers, but you said the disc is better.
No, I prefer the sticker. But I'm showing both because some people might have the disc already, and I'm not telling them to go out and pay extra money and get stickers. Use what you have. If you don't have either, I recommend the sticker. But if you
All
have
right.
one, use them up and then figure out which one you would prefer. But they
All right.
both work the same way. I have no issues with either.
Okay.
It's just the sticker I like better because it's very low profile. If I forget to put the pause layer, or if I forget anything, I can just go while this is printing at any time before it gets to the letters, hit the pause print and slap my NFC sticker in there. Whereas if you had the actual disc, if you had already started printing, it's a done deal. You're not putting that in there. But we're having issues with this this thing coming out. Y'all see I've done it twice here now. Let me look at something. If it's in there. I don't know why it wants to give me problems. It always makes you into a believer when you're on live with someone. Yep, so it's an issue. So I'm gonna go grab another one because I've done this a couple times already. Same concept. It has the hole already in it. So we'll just rumble with this one for now. So here we go. So we have the one with the hole inside it. Again, I always say I go up here and label mine just so I'm not confused and I don't mess it up. So you have it, slice your plate. You see, you saw the hole that was there as it was slicing. So now you want to go, and how I do mine is you want to see this rim around here because remember when we put it in, we was in between our black and our pink layer. So you want to find where it's going to close it off. So that is where it's closing it off at. You want to go one layer below. And this is where you're going to put your paws in. So that once you put the disc in, your next layer up, it closes it in. And then we slice our plate and our paws is set. And that's where we will have our disc in place. Did that help you, Misha? Did you get to see both? Did everyone get it? If you need me to show it again, come off your mic, let me know. I don't want anyone to be confused. You're welcome. Any questions on the backpacks, setting your hole for your disc, setting your paws for either one? And as we can see, it doesn't take long at all. You're looking at 43 minutes. And you can slap a couple of these on a plate and be good. But what I didn't show you guys is adding a name. And no one was going to say anything. So here we go. Again, Tyler is my person. So I go here to object. My whole size. So I do recommend whenever you order your disc and you get them in, pull your caliper out and measure it just to make sure. But my disc that I use has a thickness of 0.9. So I make my hole a 1.2. No, I made my hole a 2 millimeter. So my disc is 0.9 in measurement, but I make it 2 millimeters thickness for the actual hole. Hold on, I'm just going to go back so I can have one in front of me. And then the circumference of it, I do 25.3. I think it measures like a 25 if I'm not mistaken, but I just bump it up a little so that your disc will sit inside your hole. You don't want to make it the exact measurements because sometimes depending on your printer type, if it's not calibrated good, it could take off a millimeter or two. If you make it exact, this will not go into your hole that you made. So always bump it up just a little bit in circumference and a little bit in thickness so that you can ensure that it seats down inside. And then now we're going to go back to put our name. So here we go. So we're on the first plate. You sure do a lot of slapping. What, trying to get it in, Audrey?
Yeah, no. And you said slap it on here and slap this over here and slap this over. I'm just taking notes and stuff. That's
Okay.
all.
So here we go. Now we're going to put our name. So you want to select the object that you're putting the text onto. So you're normally here on global. You want to switch to objects. Select your object. Just having it selected like that. Go right here to your text shape. I select my font first. And again, I like the Arial black. And these are text. If you download text, say for instance, you use the font.com, Creative Fabrica, any text that you have on your computer will be here in Bamboo as well. Did someone have a question for me?
Why is the other one brown?
I don't know. It's supposed to be black.
So let's drop this down in size first, because as we can see, text is over. So once we put Tyler, it definitely will be over. All right, now we're good there. I just like to change my orientation look.
Getting these close.
So now we're good. I don't do much of any changing in here, and I'll show you where I do it. Now your thickness, you could change. Your thickness, you could change it because it's not sitting up here. I'm gonna show you. It's sitting on the black, somewhere in between the pink, and it's gonna stick up a little above the pink. You have a question for me, iPhone 70? So you could, right here, change your thickness. And you see it went in. So it's a little flush. But for me, I make it stick out some because remember, we have these letters here that are going to be raised. And if we were to put anything up there and it's raised, so I try to keep that a little raised as well. So that's why I leave it at the 2. And then we'll return out of here. And this is where we can play around with it. I tend to not do too much changing in there. I come out here, click on text shape, go right here to scale, uncheck uniform scale, and you'll be able to make it whatever size you want it. And center it however. So instead of doing it over there when you have the text up and you can't really get a full picture of what you're doing, you just go in here, select the text shape, and then you can scale it here. And then if you want it to change how thick it is, you do that here as well. But now we have our name. And we slice our plate again. That doesn't change anything as far as our pause layer because it's way before we get to the name. And we're looking at 1 hour and 1 minute now. So this is our NFC tag with our name, the information you want. This one has the sticker, so we don't have a hole in it, but the other one is the one with the hole. Same concept of putting the name. You just click on it, go objects. With that one selected, you right click and go right here to text to add your text. I don't know why I'm turning it sideways like this. But same concept. Any questions on the backpack? Because we're going to transition over to the can opener next. So any questions?
Oh, I'm sorry. So,
yes.
Swann, could you try it like with a 0.2 millimeter and see how long it takes to slice when you slice it?
With a nozzle of 0.2?
Yes.
1 hour and 59 minutes, so not much of a difference. You add them probably 50 minutes to it.
Thanks, Boo.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, so I'm gonna pause the recording so I can transition to
Oh,
the next
sorry.
thing. Oh,
Sorry,
go
I do
ahead.
have a question. What settings do you use so that you get a nice smooth
Good
surface
question.
on it?
So I'll show you mine on my actual. So here we go, right there. Take a picture of it. That's my ironing.
Thank you. Got it.
And anyone else that want ironing settings, these are my ironing settings. Any other question before I transition over to the can cooler?
Now, is
Miss
that kind of your universal setting for your ironing?
You say, is that a universal setting?
Yes, or just for
Yes.
that?
No, it's a universal setting. So majority of anything that I do that I want to put some ironing on, this is what I do. But I will tell you to try it out on your machine. If you do it and it's not as smooth as you want it to, start playing with your ironing flow. That's mainly the number that you're going to change. Someone else had a question too? Okay, we're going to transition
Quick question, Swan. Will the settings be saved when we get the file, or will we be getting these files
these
like
files.
normally?
You want these?
What I
So
mean, no, you know what I mean, like normally.
I provided these for you guys. But what I can do, I'll take Tyler off and I'll save it and I'll have Anya upload this without a name on it. Or know what, I'll leave the name. And that would just help you guys, because if you get this, if I save this, once you get it, and this is how people make the files so that you can edit it. So once you make this, and this is just a tip for everyone, once you make it, say for instance, you finish Tyler off, now you're moving on to your order for Swann. You just go in here. And now you moved on to my order. So I will save this and have Anya upload this into her Patreon. The same way that you got these files, the original SVGs, you'll be able to get this actual 3MF file. So yes, I would do that for you guys. Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me just turn it back. You know what? I don't even have to go through all that because I got this saved already. But yeah, so that's how you do it. And I'll give this to you guys for you to be able to use it. So I'm going to pause this so we can transition. All right, we're back and we're ready to do our can opener. So like I said, I want to do something breast cancer awareness. So let's go over to our friendly Google. Let's go with breast cancer awareness month. Let's look for a PNG. See what we can find over here. Again, I go here first whenever I'm looking for something. And then if I don't see anything, I can tell you one thing. This membership right here has paid for itself 10 times over. And hold on, I'm gonna move this to my other screen so I can log in real quick. If you don't have Creative Fabrica, please look into it. It is a great $47 per year spent. It's just like Etsy, except it's a little dumbed down when it comes to designs because they're free once they're posted to Creative Fabrica. But I like it. I love it. I come over here for a lot of ideas. So here we go. Why I didn't like that. That's good. Okay, here we go. So I come over here, I just look around, I play around. And sometimes you got to be very specific. And you just look in here and see what you like. I've seen one that I like, but I'm gonna look. I want to do this one, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to put that on my YouTube channel because of that word that's up there. But that would have been the one that I was gonna choose. But we'll find something more YouTube friendly. And again, I'm just going off the hip because I did not do this one. But I was saying in my head, I want to do a breast cancer awareness because we're tackling back to school, but you always want to forecast what's next. Getting your designs out there, presenting your items to your customer. You never want to be right there in September doing breast cancer. Put it in front of them early. That way they can be thinking. And when they say, oh, I need to get something for said holiday, they've already seen your idea, your thoughts. So we'll go with this one right here. We'll download. Then we'll go to our downloads, make sure it's good. Yeah, and we're good to go. So this is what we're going off of. So file merge. Go to my downloads. And here we go. I don't know why it came in so large, but it's good when it does come in that large because too, if you wanted to use this for something else, you know that it's actually a high resolution file because it came in that large. So I'm not too mad about that because if I want to use it for something else, I wouldn't have an issue with it. All right, so this is what we're working off right now. We got our fake hope. Let's see, we need to ungroup. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have chose this because of the way it is, but we're gonna rock with it. So what I have to do is and I'm holding my shift key down as I select each of these pieces. So yes, I chose something difficult to show you guys. And it probably wasn't good, but we're gonna rock with this because I will make it work. And we just want to make sure, yep, so it's all grouped together. So now we got the two things. That's the difficult part when you have something that's made already flush. So this goes into here. You just have to group your stuff together based on the colors. So now what I want to do is I want to make a backing. And when I say a backing, I could go over here and do an offset and we'll see what that look like. Yep, I don't like the offset because as you see, it's creating all this stuff in here and we could clean it up. No, what? We'll rock with it. I'll show y'all what I do. Give you my techniques. All right, we'll set it as soon as it stops. We'll apply. And then this is what I do to it to make it work for me. Oh no, we're not gonna make that work. Normally I'll close in the spots, but this not good. So we're gonna get rid of this. And an easy thing to do is I'll just show you guys an easy way. So an easy way is highlight both. Just go right up here. I do the rectangle with rounded edges because I just love this one so much more. And you just make sure you get everything within. We're gonna color it so we can see what we're working with. Send it to the back so you can bring your front stuff up. And then just size it down. And when you're doing these rounded edges, you want to be careful that nothing is cut off like that. So just give it a little extra. So now I just color it. I hate using white. No, we'll just use yellow for now. But once we bring it over, I'm going to end up making that back black. So here we go. We have our beginning for our can cooler. Our can opener. So now we need to go and save our pieces. Again, I always try to be organized. So you want to grab each layer. So this is our back layer. So file, save selection, save to hard drive. Navigate to that folder that I just made. We'll name this back, SVG. Okay. File, save selection, save the hard drive. And each time you're making sure that what you have selected is actually selected. And we have all our pieces saved. Now we're transitioning over to Tinkercad. Create 3D design. Again, I like to name my stuff. Let's go get our first layer, which is the back. And remember, I said we're gonna make this white. And you see me typing in here. I'm a hex code type of person, so I know a lot of hex codes off the top of my head. So whatever colors I tend to use a lot, I just go in here and type the hex code in. So you'll see me typing there. That's all that is. If you don't know it, you just go here on your wheel and select your colors. So one thing I'll show you guys real quick. So the pieces that I gave you guys to use for your can opener. And matter of fact, this is what we'll do. We'll make this easier. So I have the can opener pieces here. So I have my can opener pieces here already set. So once you have them already in Tinkercad, just go and duplicate. And you know what? Let me show y'all because this is something that you wouldn't know unless I tell you. So here we go. When you first get your pieces, take them and put them into Tinkercad. So let's go import. So you have your key ring. Audrey, so the can opener pieces, if you are a paid member on Anye's Patreon, it is under the elite. You look under the elite files. I listed all this in the post that I put in the group. If you're a part of her Patreon, it's in the elite folder. If you're not, you will have to purchase it from my website. So we have the first thing, that's the key ring, and I'll show you guys what the importance of it once we start moving forward. Next, let's go get the other piece, which will be our ring hole. And you're just bringing these in. I put them all on one program and then I work from there. Our last piece we want to go get is our opener. And this is what's important. So I'll show you guys this so you'll understand. It comes in as a solid color. As you know, in order to make it work for an opener, it has to be a hole. But I cannot share a hole with you. So it has to come in as a solid. Once you import these, this one, just this, turn it to a hole. And then you have to turn it 90 degrees. So you have to make this a hole in order for it to work. These you leave as solids. And once you have all these set, this one for sure, I would go and save it under your creations. I have mine already saved in here, but save it. If you're going to be making can openers, just save it in here. That way, as you need it, you just go grab it from your creations. But like I said, I already have these set up already. So we'll just rock with this one. So let's go get our stuff that we're going to be making. And I will give you guys dimensions and all that as we work along. So for our base, what you have to take into play is when you're making these, I'll show you in a minute, Levita, why it's important. So when you're making these, one thing you have to consider is the height of this is 5 millimeters. So whatever you're making has to be at a minimum 5.5 so that this can go inside of it. So this height is 5. Everything that goes around it has to be a minimum of 5.5 so that this will stick in it. And I'll show you what I mean. So for our base, I'm going to go with the 5.5. And then I'm going to take my work plane, put it down, and go get my next level, which is the words and the ribbon. It doesn't matter. If you have something that's flush like this, it doesn't matter which one you bring in first. So we have our letters. So turn your quality up. We can leave the color as is. And I'm going to make this 2. And then hit the D sort of come up to the level that you set your work plane. Highlight both. And let's go ahead and align these 2. Now let's go get our last layer. Select it, hit the D to bring it up, turn your quality up. And we're actually going to make this one pink. And I'll do this one black. 'Black. 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 ' And here we go. We got this work plane. We got this snap grid on again. So turn your snap grid off. And when I'm doing this, I like to get in so I can get my alignment right. All right. So we good money there. So now we have the beginning of our can opener. So now we want to highlight everything. And for now, we can go ahead and bundle group it so everything stays together. Move this out the way. So the biggest issue that people are having with these can openers is this is your bottom part that's going to be where your can opener is at. It can't be so wide that it covers the can, the top of the can. This has to be a distance where it can go in and the tab can go up in here. So if this is too wide for you to even make contact with the tab, you've already failed. So I take mine and I do not make this any wider than 40 millimeters. That's the part that where your can tab opener is going to be. I do not make that any wider than the 40. Now, for some, like say for instance, you were making something and you couldn't make a flat base down here. You could take this and put it off to the side. So it'd just be you rotating it and then sticking it in here. Where this go is all up to you. You can put it wherever you want it. And that's why I turned it a 90 degrees. And that's where your question come up at, Lavita. I turned it a 90 because I was putting it in the bottom here. But if you was putting it over here, you would have to completely turn it a whole 180. Someone got a question for me? So here we go. So now we got this and we're standing tall at a 92. I'll draw that down to about a 75. The height does not matter. It's just your width of where this is going at that matters so that it can get in and get your tab for your can. So now with this highlighted, let's get our opener. So now you want to angle it. And this is how we put our opening. So I take it, I line it up. And you don't have to bring it up to the middle. And I'll show you why in a minute. So looking at it for the aerial view, I take this. You see where it has this fat part here? I go straight in and boom, that's where I landed at. You want to make sure you get in there because this is the surface that your tab comes in contact with and gives it the ability to lift. So if I show you from the side what this looks like, this is going to create an opening so that your can tab anchors up there. So some people have been making it flat and it don't work. You have to give it a lip so that it'll pop the top. So when you put your tab in here, you start to hear the of the can because it's opening.
So that width, is that to fit like a normal size can? What about a skinny can?
The tabs are all the same.
No, not the tab, but I meant to fit in the, how you had the full width of the.
You're saying the distance across?
Yep.
I have not tried it on a skinny can, but you would have to measure the inner of your skinny can. I have not done a skinny can at all. So that's a good question. And if anyone is doing a skinny can, the tab will work. It's just what you make your distance across here.
Yep, that was what I was curious about. Thank you.
You're welcome. So now we're back here. And we're going to put our tab in. Like I say, you get an aerial view and come on in and you land. Don't take it all the way in because there's no reason. Leave it hanging out like this. Highlight. Union group. Let it do its thing. That's your tab opener for your can.
Hey,
And I,
Swan, I have a quick question. If
mhm.
you were doing a circle, how would you put it in the tab in the circle?
In a circle,
Yeah, if you had something that
same
was a
way.
circle.
Hold on. But let me finish this one real quick.
Uh-huh.
So that is the opening spot that I told you guys. If we zoom in a little, this is where your can tab is coming up into. So that's what's giving you the leverage to make that tab open up. And that's where a lot of you were having issues that you used other models and tried to do, and it was not opening your tab. You need somewhat of a lip in order to achieve it. And this is what you have here. And when you look from the bottom, there's an indent for it to go up in.
What was your measurement for that back piece? For the initial, the thickness
For
of
the
it?
white.
Yes.
So again, across here, you don't want to make it no wider than 40 millimeters.
Okay.
The thickness of the white base, you have to make it at a minimum 5.5 millimeters because this opening is 5 millimeters. So it has to go into something, and you want to make sure you have enough that is going in and you still have some edge on top. Now, if all of this was all one and we was doing it, let's see how, and it's 7, we could have not have to make this as thick. But because this is, you got this open space, you want to make your bottom layer thicker than what the piece is.
Okay.
So here's our can opener, just making it off of this object that I made. But for the person that just asked, how do you do it if it's a circle? So say, for instance, this was something all did up, fancy schmancy. Again, what you're looking for is making sure when you come in contact that you're coming over this part. So I would say right there, highlight them, cut your hole. There you go. That's your can opener if you were doing it on a circle. And it really doesn't matter what the object type is. Your main point is looking at it. And again, go from the top so that you can see what you're doing. You want to make sure you're getting this part inside the object. You don't want this whole thing down here, but at least up here, you have to get that in so that it makes that lip. Yeah, so right there, I have it in. We got the base. And then now I'll show you guys how our other pieces come into play. So for this one, I would use my loop that I gave you guys. It is made already with the hole in it so that if you was to put a keychain in, this will work. So this hole is perfect for a keychain. And all I do is I take it, run it up to an edge or wherever you want to place it, and just put it in. I have no real secret to it. I just make sure some of it is in it. And there's my keychain loop. You don't want it all the way in because, of course, you're cutting out from where you would feed the keychain into. But that's what I would give it. That's that first piece that I gave you guys. Now, this one would come into play. And let's just say this circle, we're using this as an example. Let's just say the circle has some words down here. You could take this one, put it right here at your top. Move it down some so it's going all the way through. Make it a hole, highlight both, and boom. You have your hole for a keychain and something like that. And it does not disturb your actual can opener piece. So I just wanted to give you guys two different options, where to make the actual hole within or to make the loop on the outside. Both works for this. We'll move this one out the way, and we're going to use this one. It's what I'm going to bring over. So boom, now we have our breast cancer awareness can opener. And then I highlight, export, OBJ. We'll just use this for now, just to add it on. And the colors are the same, so that worked out perfect. So here we go. We have to go unzip our file, and now we're ready to upload it. Something funky is going on with my Tinkercad. This is so weird, but I could paint it. But then that's not going to work. Oh, that sucks. We'll just make it one color on the top. So we'll just make it pink for now. But as you know, it's supposed to be pink and black. But here we go. We have our can opener with our opening, with our keychain ring. And we're looking at 37 minutes. We don't need this pause. The pause was from me putting it on there with what we used previously. So yeah, we're looking at 37 minutes for this keychain, which is the can opener keychain. And there we have it. Can I print without supports? So you can, but I'm going to tell you to enable supports just to be on the safe side and on build plate only, because this is a significant opening here that the filament has to try to build itself around. So just to be safe, and I do it for all my can openers, I put enable supports on build plate only. That way you don't have supports up in the hole, and you'll see it's just sitting right here. And it all it added was a minute onto your time. So yes, you will need one for that little hole, because without it, the filament has no way of going across here once this opening is here, and you'll possibly have sagging. Yep, if you put it on build plate, you don't have to get it out because it's only on the build plate. Any other questions? All right, so I'm gonna throw a bonus in here for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pause my recording again.
I do have a